Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang this morning. Sadguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful how sometimes things happen. We came back from the walk yesterday, and this old gentleman who gave, most of you were there, no? Who gave some M&Ms to all of you. I was speaking to him later, and he said that he spent some time with Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi. He's so blessed because there are very few that you actually meet who've been in the physical presence of Bhagwan. So grace is supporting us in every way. Every moment is bringing such beautiful surprises. At least seeing all of this, we must never believe an unworthy thought that I don't deserve freedom. Everything is supportive to you right now. We're in this very beautiful place where so many sages have blessed this beautiful land. Sadhguruji's blessing is with us. That which you're looking for is already here now. You see? So if you don't go into stories of past and projections of future, what do you find right now? The self that we are trying to realize must be the self here now. If this is not the self, there is no self. Forget about it. If that which is here now is not the self, then there is no self. And not no self in the way that Buddhists say no self. That's a different terminology. What is here right now, before you can go to your some sensation, some emotion, some thought, what is here before that? You will not find it that way. You will not find it in the going, you see, with anything. I feel this, I think this. You will not find it that way in your feelings and your thinking. What is before that? You see? And once you become comfortable in a way to say with what is before that, then it will stop mattering so much which feelings are coming, which thoughts are coming. All these concepts won't be so important now. And it is a habit, I know this, because we are used to, in this worldly life, used to getting things by going after them outwardly. You see? You want a degree, then you study, take an exam, get the degree. You see? Anything you want to achieve. You want relationship, you put profile on marriage site or dating site, and then see the responses and work with that. This is completely different. We are not going to get it that way. We are going to get it this way. What is prior to even the decision of what to do or not to do? What is prior to that? What is at the background of all of this appearance? What is at the root of all of this appearance? Is it not you? Are you not here? We are looking for ourselves. We are looking for ourselves. Someone said, very beautiful example. He said, which mountain do the shoes have to walk around to find the shoes? Huh? What are you looking for? Yourself. Where will you find it? Outside? By doing something, you will find yourself. What must you be first? Before anything else, what must you be? What is the point of telling you all of this? The point is that there is a self which is playing as consciousness, which is then playing as a person. And the game that we are playing now is the person trying to become the self. You see? This will never happen. The fallacy will never become the reality. The fallacy only has to be dropped. You see? What are you before you pick up the fallacy? Are you not aware of your existence? That which is aware is the self. What does it mean for the person? Nothing. Can it help the person in any way? Not really. So is our need for self-discovery still driven by giving something to the person? Once I find the self, then I'll have my infinite bowl of Amrit, and then I will be the happiest person on earth. Is that still the overriding desire to give something to the person? And all the frustration with the spiritual journey, with the master, with the teaching, with yourself, all of that comes because this one that we have been catering to for so long is not getting it. You see? Or even if it claims to be getting it, it is not getting the confirmation from the master that I am getting it. You see? It's very frustrating. But I get it, I get it. No, not you. You see? Still not you. If there's a personal sense of getting that you got this, that is also to be thrown away. Now I find that I am awareness. Now I become awareness. Now I'm operating only from awareness. All of this is also rubbish. You see, it is also rubbish. Because the I is still participating in that, this little one. It's like the toenail saying that today I'm going to walk this way to satsang or that way. The toenail doesn't decide these things. So now I have decided to live only as awareness. It's also part of the fallacy. And it's very frustrating. So what to do now? You tell me what to do. You said abide in awareness. Now I'm abiding. I'm doing my best to abide. You see? You have to just smell a little more and see where this eye, what this eye is smelling like. You see? Is it still smelling personal? And your nose will tell you actually, not this physical nose. But you know in your heart. You might try to deny it all that you like with the mind, but you know exactly what is going on in your heart actually. And when I refer to heart, I'm referring to your intuitive heart, intuition, not your emotional heart. The emotional center can be as wayward as the mind actually, even more sometimes. You see? But that presence, which is your own existence, is the supreme intelligence of this universe. So instead of trying to take charge of your spiritual journey, you drop it. You see? Even now, instead of trying to understand and execute what is being said, just come into this simple allowing. You see? Just come into a simple allowing. Allowing means what? Allow all thoughts to just come and go. Allow your attention also to move naturally. Allow your body movements the way they have to move. You see? Whatever emotions are playing, sensations are playing, allow them. Allow the outside world to appear as it is appearing. Allow this body to react as it is reacting. Come into this simple allowing. This non-resistive, I don't want to call it state, this non-resistance itself is your natural nature, sahaj, you see. Is the most natural to you. Drop all effort. And some fear might come. And I don't want to belabor this point because if I keep saying some fear might come, then you'll project that. But if some of you are experiencing it, then know that nothing will be harmed. It's all auspicious. Don't fear the fear. Even if it seems like the ground is shaking under you, allow it. In this simple naturalness, you will find that all this effort to become a person, to pretend to become a person, will start to seem more and more alien to you. Will start to seem more and more effortful to you. It will seem like a waste of time actually. Why would you want to? And in this simple natural state of allowing, all insights will also emerge. Freshness will be there. And this movie will become much more enjoyable. Because we're not trying to predict every scene. What is the next scene going to be like? Tell me, tell me. And it's just fresh. We don't know right now who is going to speak in the next few minutes and what they are going to say. Isn't that so wonderful? This not knowing. If we just already knew what the whole day would be like, and we're just going through the motions of the day. So when we don't have fear about something happening to us, you see, then we can truly enjoy the movie. If we're trying to protect this me, this non-existent one, and leading our life, catering to this one, you see, then we are fearful. What is the next moment going to bring? You see, what is the agenda for the retreat? Are you going to become really harsh on me tomorrow? These kind of fears will come. And we're no longer catering to this me. Then what is there? And all I'm asking is that we stop catering to that which we cannot find in the first place. You see? Someone was saying the other day, also again I've heard this many, many times over the last 3 years, that if ego is also consciousness, why are you always so harsh with the ego? But it is just make-believe, that's why. I'm trying to show you that it is just make-believe. There is no tangible ego. You see? It is not even the situation where you say that, you forgive the sinner. You see? It is not even that situation like there is a sinner, and of course the most beautiful way to deal with that is with compassion. In the world it is spoken like this, isn't it? But it is not even that case. We cannot find this one. That's what I'm trying to show you. There is no cat. Now if you keep believing that you're a Martian, you see, if you keep believing that you're a Martian and then you come and say, but even this belief is consciousness, then what can I tell you? I'm just showing you that you are not a Martian. You are not this person. You see? Even the presumption that you are a person is a play of consciousness, agreed. You see? But if you were to wake up tomorrow and you woke up under a spell, you see, and all of you said that I am from Mars, I want to go back to my house in Mars, I'm missing it too much. What would be the most compassionate way to deal with you? Would it be to cater to your Martian identity and say, okay, let's try to build a spaceship? It would not be, no. It would be to tell you, look, you are not a Martian. Then you say, oh, why are you so harsh with a Martian? I was saying, just look, it's a lie that you are a Martian. That's all that is happening here. Nobody is being harsh with anyone. We are just looking at that which is false and saying it is false. That which is a lie and saying it is a lie. You see? Isn't it? If your children have an imaginary friend who started off all fine, but now is just scary to the child, would you not tell the child, hey, it's imaginary, don't believe it. It's just your own projection and you've given it too much belief. So now you believe it, whatever it is saying. You see? And then the whatever it is saying seems like it is too much. So the child gets overwhelmed. That's what used to happen, you see. I started off by saying, don't believe your thoughts. Then everybody came back saying, but it's too much. There are too many thoughts. So then what to do with the imaginary friend? Okay, don't believe the next thing it is saying. At least that much we can do, isn't it? You see? So, don't believe your next thought. Then this false imaginary friend, which is claiming to be you yourself, cannot be nourished. The identity cannot grow like that. So all that is happening here is this. To see, I say, look, you are not that one. That is the recognition. I have given you the tools to look. How to look also we've shown you. Isn't it? So the first part is look, who are you really? You see? So as you look, then as it is, belief in the fall starts to fall. Once you see you are not a Martian, you see, then the Martian belief starts to disintegrate. You see? But because so much has been believed in the past, that is why it is important also to drop any future nourishment to this Martian conditioning. Otherwise, the spiritual journey will keep going on and on. You see? I can give you a practice. Every day you do 10 minutes, you come to the recognition of who you are. The rest of the day, you are again filling yourself up with egoic conditioning. You see? So how does it end? Never. Because you get rid of whatever has been filled up the previous day with your 10 minutes of practice. Then the rest of the day, you go about as if you're the ego. You see? So if I wanted hundreds of thousands of followers, I would just do that. Make you taste the honey every day. You see? Give you some sense of peace from that previous day's conditioning. And then I know the rest of the day you will go about your thing, you will build up more drama in your life, and you will come next day again with bucket full of conditioning, then do the practice, throw it up. Okay? It's a fail-safe model. And I'm not saying there's anything fundamentally wrong with it, but I'm saying the urge here is not for that. The urge here is to show you who you are, and also show you don't need to pick up any of the false stuff. And whatever little bit you do pick up, just a simple inquiry, who is it? Who is here, really? Can drop that. You see? So both the recognition, I am not the Martian, and the dropping of the false Martian conditioning is possible right now. You see? And when it gets picked up, you can also be let go. And you know what the best news is? The best news is that this moment is your best friend. In this moment, all that was past is gone. All our ideas about ourselves, right now, gone. See? If I say, tell me your ideas about yourself, you first have to think about it. They're not here. You have to go to that and pull it. You see? So you have to wait for some thought to come, pull at that, and then the whole stream of conditioning seems to be available. Can it be this simple? That the recognition of who you are is possible right now, and also the conditioning is wiped off. You see? Actually, self-realization is the simplest thing. That is why it is impossible for the mind. It is too simple. All that is needed is right now check what is here, who am I, and don't buy any story that the mind is selling you. If you don't want to buy, nobody can force you to buy. This is a lie we tell ourselves. Oh, I am just forced to believe. I am just forced to believe. You see? Because that who has the power of belief is not some mere mortal, it is consciousness. The person does not have the power to believe. You see? But it has the power to believe that it does not have the power of dropping these beliefs. They are too strong for me. It has the power to believe all of these things. It wants to play like that. But I cannot believe you when you say these things. Because that which believes or does not believe is consciousness itself. So for those who have been with me for some time, you see, and they come to me still with some story, I say, sometimes I just say, I don't believe you. Radha once, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, but we were in Rishikesh, and she will write to me on Facebook, there's lots I have to share with you, so much has been happening here, I'm picking up so much. So then we were walking on the Ganga Ghats, and she shared something, and I said, actually, you know what, I don't believe any of this. But Father, it's true. You see? Then I said, I know that you believe it to be true, but really none of this is really true. Because even with our belief, can we harm what we really are? Can we actually become the ego? We cannot. We can only be this being, and ultimately that which is aware even of this being. How many of you still feel like you have to do something now in the future once you get out of this satsang? You still have a plan for your future. No, and not just like a practical plan, like a travel plan, but what is my agenda to become free? How many of you still have an agenda to become free? Be honest. Rest of you have dropped the freedom agenda? See? Drop it. Drop it. I have no agenda for your freedom. I knew that one will get some of it. I'm saying drop it.
So the thorn that is the other thorn?
Yeah, drop it. Now you drop it. Dropped it? No. No. So do you trust what I said before or do you trust what I'm saying now? Because vigilance also you must have heard from me. No. So right now I'm saying drop it. Drop all agenda for freedom. You see? Because even what can be happening right now is that you're hearing all of this, and somewhere the mind could be collecting it saying, yes, this is good stuff. This is what I must do. I must just become natural. You see, I must just do. So this has to be dropped. That which has been spoken now is for now. You see? Drop all agenda. Then are you free or bound? Are you free or bound? Free, raise your hand. Not just making it up. If you think about it, you're bound. Before you think about it, what are you? And if you say neither, it is okay. Because true freedom is beyond the concepts of freedom and bondage. What is the difference between this now and that now? Nothing. So you must still be free. And this now? And now? Eh? Where is conditioning? Nowhere. Where is the person? Nowhere. Really, no? Oh no. Saying something very practical. Right now, there are no chains, there is no bondage. Even to pretend to be the ego, you have to first think about it. Prior to that, are you free or no? So this is freedom. No? Can it be this simple? What's happening now? Some previous concepts must be fighting back. It can't be. Am I really getting it? It can't be. But this is it. What is missing now? What is missing? You see? So what must be fighting back can be this concept that we have about what freedom is. That it will become like this. The idea that it will always become like this is what prevents the always from becoming like this. You see? When we have a concept about something being just this way, then that concept itself gets in the way. You see? What?
That vigilance thing, Father,
Yeah.
the fear is coming that if I drop the vigilance, then I'll go back to.
Yes. But even in all of this, did you first not have to think about it?
Yes.
So enjoy your freedom at least for some time. Then I tell you. You see? That's why I'm saying drop your agenda for freedom. The point of having a master is that it's his problem, no? You see? You have you have an all expenses paid vacation, you see? And you have the best hotel, best restaurant everywhere, suppose. And then you're going to these small joints, oh, I have no money and can I eat over here? But your hotel, which is the best hotel in town, is waiting for you. You see, you say, no, I think it's too much trouble for him. I don't want to burden him. Let me try and do it myself. Yeah. Can we drop all ideas about what must be done right now? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi said that if you board a bus or you board a train, you see, then what do? Some people board the train and still carry their bags and they're running towards the destination. So if you boarded the master's train, then keep the bags down, you sit down. The master has the master plan. You drop your plan. Cannot truly have a master and have a plan. Choose one thing. And go with that then 100%. Even if it is your plan, go with that then. But you want to have a master also, want to have a plan also. The plan is only catering to the false one. Some in Satsang are like this, no, also. That we'll do little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of this, little bit of that. And as a perfect combo meal, we will get to our freedom at the end of it. Okay? I have no trouble with doing a little bit of this and that. That is fine. But don't presume that that is getting you to your freedom, because freedom is before you decide to do any of that. It is already your natural state. Isn't it? Who doesn't see this right now? Who doesn't see? Are you just humoring me or what? Because once I start hearing your questions, it will be different. No? Your testimony will be different. Yesterday this happened, and this happened. Then I felt this. Then my feeling now is, I already said, don't go with what feelings are saying. Don't go with what thoughts are saying. Before all of that, what is here? What is here? Is that bound in any way? The self looking for the self. Yeah. The free trying to find freedom. The drop in the ocean trying to find the ocean. How to show it? You can only say, look where you already are. What to tell the one that is pretending to be the drop in the ocean? What instruction will you give it? It's saying, I'm suffering so much. Sometimes my life goes up with that wave, sometimes it goes down. I want to only feel up. And you say, but look at what you are. Are you just a drop, or are you the entire ocean? What separates you? It's as literal as that. You know, these can seem like metaphors, but it is as literal as that. That which is pretending to be separate from the rest of consciousness is only part of this one big ocean of consciousness. Yeah. Along with the movement of the ocean, for the drop, then you will say, okay, how do I navigate this up and down? Okay. And then I say, okay, do, like we were saying to Vijay, do some spiritual push-ups. Then you will have more up than down. All of it, from that perspective, is a joke like this. All of these ups and downs of life is a play of one consciousness. You see? So we are the drop is trying to navigate the flow of the ocean. Is trying to control the flow of the ocean. And the frustration is not happening, it is not happening, it is not happening. Obviously, as long as you keep pretending that you are the drop, it will not happen. Once you see that you are the ocean itself, and you're seeing that now, if you drop the drop thoughts. If you drop the drop thoughts, then you see that you are the ocean. I take some of these contemporary examples sometimes. Suppose you have this mailbox, no, this Microsoft Exchange or whatever, Outlook or whatever. So you have this Outlook or your Gmail inbox, and one day you started getting mails for somebody called, let's say Rajan, because Rajan was a very popular example once. You started getting these emails for somebody called Rajan. You see, you opened one and it caught you. You see, and you start feeling like this mail is for me. You see, this email is for me. Then every minute one email is coming for Rajan, saying this is the plan for tomorrow. This is what we must do. You see, then one email. Then there's some, like in our life when we write our story, there's some events. So one event happened. I found the love of my life. This was major email. This was quite an accomplishment, Mr. Rajan. Good job, and wish you a happy life forever. And after a few weeks or days, or depending on the situation, another email says, okay, this is not the constant happiness that I was looking for. So what to do now? All we need is a little bit more money. The email comes like that. We follow. We try to get money. Says, okay, money is there, but something is still missing. Maybe you should have some children. And children come. Then anything, all these things, house, it keeps going like that. Then one day, one major email comes, important, very, very, very important. Is all of this is a sham. All of this is a sham trying to look for personal happiness. This is a sham, Mr. Rajan. What you must find now is freedom. Once you find this liberation, then Mr. Rajan, you will be absolutely happy all the time. Anandhi Ananda. Then, of course, it's very attractive. No? You get this mail. So how do you find this freedom? You go from place to place. It says, okay, now you try this. This seemed to work for this one. You try this. You go here. Do this. And then any places that you go, you will be told, okay, do this for 90 days. Do this for 1 year. Then you do this. Then you come to next level. Then you're growing. And as you're growing in your spiritual stature, you feel like you got a lot. I'm sharing my own story, actually. So you feel like you got a lot, you've understood so much, and then people come to you who are still at level 1, and you're telling them, you start to parrot your master's words, and you say, yeah, this is what. Don't be a football of others' opinions. Expectations only reduce joy. I've said these words. So with full conviction. And then what starts to happen? Life being life, then starts to pull out the ground from under you. Your business starts to have problems. You're having fights in your marriage, all of this. And you're trying to say, okay. Do the practice more. Going. But yes, momentary relief comes. But 10 minutes later, again, you see, something. So you say, but it's only my expectations which are reducing my joy. But what to do? It's not helping. So when life slaps you about like this, then all of this mostly gets washed away, and something says, okay, I'm still not finding freedom for the person here. So let me now go to this, let me go here, from here to here, and we go from place to place, trying to find some freedom for this person. These teachings, these concepts, some practice, something, and we feel like, because it is the taste of honey, that is undeniable. All these primitive practices, ancient practices, will give you a taste of the honey. It is undeniable. So you enjoy that honey and say, this is what I have to do. I have to stretch this out so it becomes my constant experience. That's what I have to do. So then it becomes chasing the dragon. For drug addicts, there's this term called chasing the dragon. The first time you inhale a drug, you get a kick. And supposedly, you don't ever get that kind of kick again. But you're still chasing that. You keep chasing by doing more and more and more. So you want to do more and more practice, more and more programs, more and more courses, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Keep going to all the levels. As you say, one day I will come to that constant state of peace. You see? Then you find that as life is shaking you about, you find that no concept, no practice is really giving me that. What do I do? There is fundamentally something wrong. I came to this conclusion because what happened is that I could parrot the best knowledge. You see, I could speak it. But when my business started becoming shaky and I was having trouble in relationship, then great suffering was coming. And something was trying to deny the suffering using mental concepts. You see? And that was giving even more suffering. Outwardly, I was projecting this very nice, smile like that. But inwardly, something was just. You see? Then it became clear to me that I don't know anything. What I know is not worth anything, not worth a peanut. Because not one moment of suffering it was helping with. You see? Not one moment, it was only making it worse. Because the fight then became, but you should be beyond this by now. But you should be beyond this by now. Isn't it? Always fighting. You should be beyond this by now. And then grace being so beautiful, then it brings you to something which starts to unravel through these beautiful scriptural books like I Am That and Be As You Are came into my life. I don't know how it became about me suddenly. So then I started to realize that I really know nothing. I started to see that this slate got wiped clean once more. Wiped clean from all of this. And then we found that what was really the urge was not to give freedom to the person, it was the person itself which was the thorn. You see, the belief in the identity itself was the thorn. And no matter what I tried to practice, no matter how many concepts I was learning spiritually, because they were being taken from a personal perspective, it was leading only to continuing of the suffering, not to the end of it. You see? That is why when we share all these examples, it is freedom not for the cat, but from the cat. You see? It is from living experience, isn't it? Because we try so many things to try and make this one free. You see? But that has to be dropped. The false idea, if our foundation itself is based on a lie, then whatever beautiful bricks we put on top of that is not going to help. That's why often I've said that I don't have a problem with practice, but the idea of there being a practitioner. You see? So, when we look like that, we see that if our foundation becomes clean from that which is false, you see, then as part of the joy of this living experience, all is allowed to come and go. You see? If someone enjoys mindfulness, like a Buddhist way of practicing mindfulness, we can sit and bring our attention to our breath and do this. If someone enjoys yoga, hatha yoga, pranayama, nothing wrong with it. The only thing that seems to lead to further delusion is the idea of being a practitioner, the idea of being an individual entity. You see? So the idea of separation, if it is getting amplified because of anything that we might be doing, then best to keep that aside at least for some time and to see what are you really at the foundation before the thought, before the most popular thought, I am a person. What are you? Before we believe the idea about ourselves, what are you before the idea was born? And that checking, we don't have to wait for an auspicious moment, you see. It's not that on the 8th day of Navratri, that is the moment to check on who you are. Although it is beautiful to also do that, but this checking is possible to do anytime. Before the idea comes, now, right now, who are you? Are we able to just look? It's not rocket science. Don't expect any explosions, any experience. Just it's a simple looking. What is here? Who am I right now? This is what you are. No? No? He has this look which is like, what is he saying? Huh? Umaji, you okay? Okay. Who are you before you have the urge to go to the conclusion about who you are? Is it? Because our habit is what our way of knowledge has been worldly knowledge, you see. So what happens is we study something and then we make a conclusion about it, and then we feel like I know something. This is different from that. This is only the living experience is possible, which we cannot draw a conclusion out of it. And I know the mind must be rushing to make conclusions. You see? And the conclusion takes you away from the fresh looking. You see? So don't make any conclusion about what you're seeing, what you're finding. You see? And I've given you the tool. So when I ask you the question, can you stop being now? You see? And pretend as if you're hearing this question for the first time and check. Try to stop being. Don't say, no, I've tried, I know, no, I can't stop. Don't say that. Now, try to stop being now. Don't be for a moment, for an instant. You will find more joy in this than in a mental conclusion of knowing the right answer. Because what does the mind come and say? It says, yes, yes, you know that you are being, but where are the children of being? But it is that mental conclusion also that has to be thrown away. You see. Can you stop being? And as these words come here also there's an attempt to see, can I stop being? Can we stop being? How many of you feel that you might be doing this wrong? Cannot be, no? If some of you, if you feel, you can say yes. Good. Anybody else? How many of you feel like you've heard this instruction and you don't get the big deal about it, so you're wondering whether you're doing it wrong or everyone else is just pretending? 2. So let's go very slowly with this. The question is, can I stop being now? What happens, Richard can say and Hari can say. What happens when you try to stop being or when you hear the instruction?
Just can't stop it.
Can't stop
It
what?
just can't stop being. It just keeps going on. I'm just feeling into, okay, well, what's going on? So how can I stop that going on? And it's kind of really drawing a blank. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
no, I can't stop it. Can't stop it.
Can't stop. What do you feel this is about? This pointing, can you stop being? This being that cannot be stopped. What is it really? Is there another word for it? If you've not heard being, what would you refer to it as?
Well, it's just there's ongoing awareness, registering things and noticing things, and stuff is happening. But I think the mind then is coming in a bit because it's like, it's so basic.
Yeah.
And it's not even exciting. It's like, yeah, this is going on. Yeah. Like, it's literally like, there's no Satchit in Ananta, there's no bliss, there's no excitement. It's just, and I'm thinking, is that really it?
Yeah.
It's like, just, obviously, that's, obviously there's awareness, when you.
So is there a distinction between the two questions? Can you stop being now? And are you aware now? Or do they taste the same to you? And everyone can check this. Is there a qualitative distinction? Don't get too Advaita on me too quick. Is there a qualitative distinction between the two questions? Can you stop being now? And am I aware now?
There does seem to be a qualitative, but it's more in the way I'm looking. I think if you say, can you stop being? I'm looking for this kind of ongoing thing that thinks itself to be kind of an entity or something, like a being. So I'm looking for a being.
Yes. And what do you find when you look for being?
Well, it is like, I can find one, but more basic is, are you aware now? Because the aware is...
Okay, slowly. We have time. So you say very rightly that when we look at can I stop being, it can feel like I'm looking for being. And when we look, what do we find?
Well, in me, there's, and I didn't notice it, but
Little louder, please.
Yeah, I didn't notice, but like, there's a presumption that because I'm just noticing it now, that because I'm looking for a being, I've got to find a being. And so I look from that kind of perspective, and then it's kind of like I construct a being to say, oh yeah, there is one, but there is also, I look for it.
So all this mental stuff, let's keep it aside for just a minute, and don't interpret the question in any way. Don't add a word to it, don't add any syllable to it. Can you stop being now?
I can't stop it.
Yes. So this it which you can't stop, what is that?
Well, experiences are being registered.
Yes.
And that thing that is registering them can't stop registering them.
Very good. Okay. So it seems to be the witness of all phenomenal things. Okay? And it's registering all of this. Now, who is aware even of it?
It's itself is aware of itself, registering things, is what appears to be.
Are you imagining this? Are you visualizing this? And even if you are, it's okay. Who is aware of the visual?
That's getting really difficult.
How did you come to know it is getting difficult? How did you get to know this, that it's getting difficult?
On one level, I'm feeling lost in trying to find this one.
Okay, so
And-
first find this one that is feeling lost. Let's start with finding that one. Where is that one? Because you say quite conclusively that I'm feeling lost. So which I is this one that is feeling lost? Just relax a little more into it. It looks like you're working really hard. Just gently. Are there two of you? The one that is getting lost and the one that is looking at the one getting lost?
Well, there are, because the one that is getting lost
Yeah.
is the mind trying to respond to the question.
Yes. Yes. So it's very good. If it's getting completely confused, we can leave it aside. You see? We don't have to be eloquent or coherent even. You see? In fact, ineloquence, incoherence is very welcome. So let the mind say whatever it wants to, let it resist. The question is, who is aware even of this mind? Who is aware of your existence?
Like, it doesn't really feel like a who.
Okay, good.
It just feels like awareness.
Awareness. Awareness. And where are you? And don't again go with the right answer. Just go with your looking.
See, the awareness doesn't feel like the I that I'm used to experiencing.
Okay.
But
Right.
it's like obviously the more fundamental I that I'm not very used, the smaller I is not used to experiencing.
Let's see if I can help you even with that. So you say that there is just awareness of even of existence. And who knows this? Do you know this or no?
It just feels more truthful to say awareness knows it.
Yes. Yes. How is awareness telling you this? So awareness knows it. What does that have to do with you?
It's because it's being perceived. Like that awareness, it has to be me. It doesn't feel like, all the nonsense that is me. So it's a very different feeling.
Yeah.
But
So don't bother with your feeling for some time also. Neither with feeling nor with thought, just with what we are directly seeing. You say there seems to be an awareness here which is aware even of the sense of existence. You see? Now this awareness, how is this known? How are you able to say these words? Is it hearsay from awareness? So awareness told you this is what I'm doing? Or is it more direct than that?
well, I wouldn't be able to experience awareness.
See,
I couldn't.
You couldn't.
I couldn't experience awareness unless it's actually me.
Yeah. Every time he says that. What is the problem if you were awareness?
It's not a problem. It's just that I have conditioned nonsense around what it should feel like and what freedom should feel like, and it doesn't feel like that.
Yes.
It's fairly,
But
it's fairly mundane or basic.
yes, but even through all of the conditioning, is your discovery that now you are becoming awareness and you were earlier that, or is your discovery that you've always been that?
It is that I've always been that.
Yeah.
But it's still unfamiliar because I don't spend much time there. But it's kind of like what else is there to
Who
be?
doesn't spend much time there?
The
Awareness
conditions.
steps out of there?
No, well, it's
Is it? So you're trying to take the identity along for this ride, and that can start to become very confusing. You see? So first you have to see what have you been always in reality. And if you've always been this in reality, does the pretend me have to spend time here or there, or is this your fundamental reality which cannot change? Can you step out of awareness? Even when you are playing as a person, have you stepped out of awareness?
No, we can't really.
Can't really.
But you can play a very convincing game.
Yeah, yes,
You can play a very
that's
convincing
what makes
game.
it fun at one level, yes.
So that you don't know.
Yes. But
That's
even
what-
in the playing of the game,
You
nothing
still-
fundamentally changes.
No, you still are.
Yes.
Mm.
Now, what can the mind say about the reality of who you are?
Well, it can take, at its best, it can take all that and wrap it up in a concept and say, here you go.
Yes.
But it's not an experience, it's just nonsense.
Yes. So then you're saying that there is nothing that the mind can say which is about the reality of who I am.
Well, it's not nothing. Like it can, give. It can give some information.
At
that might
best,
be
at best,
helpful.
it can try and point to it. Is that what you're
Yeah,
trying?
basically, at its best,
Yeah.
but it's diverting you from the experience.
And wouldn't that imply that everything else that the mind says, except some pointers which could be ultimately helpful, at least besides these, everything else is not about you fundamentally. It is about the make-believe you.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Yes.
Now, knowing this to be true, would it be wise to drop whatever the mind is saying or to continue to believe what the mind is saying?
Well, it would be very wise to drop, but there's a strong conditioning going on there. So even I try
So
to
can we
drop.
start with this one which says, but there is a strong conditioning?
Mm.
Then?
Well,
No
it's-
conditioning is stronger than you.
Sometimes I think so because
Yeah.
reality wanted to play a very convincing game, so
Yeah.
it had to create fantastic conditioning to keep it going for a
Yeah.
long time,
Yeah.
and it's got a lot of strength to do all that if it wants.
Yeah. Yes. What is the game you want to play right now?
I'm trying to. You see, it's quite confusing because I don't get to play any game. There's only the one game, and I think I'm trying to get out. It is the ego trying to rest in the reality or spend more time in the reality. It's like it is the spiritual exit journey or whatever.
Can you find any way for this non-existent one to rest in reality?
That's doomed to failure, basically. That's not going to happen.
If it doesn't exist, obviously
Yes,
it cannot rest
it's
anywhere.
not going to happen. No.
Then how do we buy into these ideas?
Well, because mostly I've taken the mind to be
bad
myself, so it's a habit. And trying to drop it is it's quite a challenge because there's a lot to it.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's. What does it mean when we say I'm trying to drop the mind? What do we have to do to drop the mind?
Well, if we just, sense what is true now,
Yes.
that will help drop the mind. But then, of course, the mind goes blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
and it says, you're not doing it right.
So the term itself, dropping, maybe we should replace with something else. Because to drop something would mean to first pick it up. You cannot drop that which has not been picked up. So my provocation, my suggestion to you is that just refuse to pick it up instead. Right now it is dropped. This moment is doing it for you. The mind is dropped. Now don't pick it up. What does it mean don't pick it up? This means allow it to just come and go. You probably heard the conveyor belt example from me earlier, but you're in this fancy Japanese restaurant, and there, what happens is there's a conveyor belt. It's a restaurant called Yo Sushi. So you go over there and you have this conveyor belt. So no waiter, nothing happens. You just sit on your table and this conveyor belt comes. Whatever you like, you pick up. See, whatever you like, you pick up. And at the end, based on how many plates are there on your table, you will get a bill. See? Now, this is exactly the same way in which the mind works. One plate is coming to you at one time. One thought is coming at one time. It can seem like the mind is saying so much, but it's got just one mouth, just like this thing at a time. It could be we pick up, adds to our conditioning, our idea about ourselves, which is false. You see? You see? Now, how to drop conditioning? You see that in every moment in this magical restaurant, your table starts empty. You see? Now, but if you pick up a plate, all that you've eaten before comes back to your table. All those plates come back. You see? So it's cleaned up in this moment. If you pick up this, then it seems like all those plates which were there earlier seem to come back. You see? So all that we can do to drop conditioning is not pick up the next plate. Is that tough? If you think about it, it will. Just allowing your next thought to come and go, is it that difficult? Huh?
I think it probably isn't,
But
like the thought, how do I prolong
how to prolong?
resting in reality? It's like,
Yes, but we already said that which is reality is already resting in reality.
yeah,
And the false does not exist, therefore cannot rest in reality. So you still want to go on that voyage of trying to make the non-existent one rest in reality?
I think I'm just too used to thoughts.
Because that is the spiritual journey.
Habit stuff, yeah.
That is the so-called spiritual journey. You see? So the end of the journey is not the achieving of the conclusion or coming to the destination, but the dropping of this idea that the false can never else rest in the true. Because the false does not exist in the first place. So many times for many of you it is scary, the idea that it could be game over right now. You see? Because the idea then comes, so, but then what do I do with my life? What happens to my next pilgrimage? You see? These kind of ideas can come. You see? But what I'm saying is that you end the journey inwardly, outwardly, wherever your feet have to take you is okay. Are you ready for game over? Because if you choose to continue to play, nobody can stop you, and it's fine. All of this is the play.
I mean, it's kind of funny because I like to think I'm ready
Yes.
for game over, but I have reservations about the level of my conditioning and all this kind of stuff. That's, I don't want to be foolish about it. It's like,
So we just said that in this moment, all that is past is gone. Even the past conditioning has vanished. But you can tug at it. You can pull at it. And everything is available to you again if you pull at it. You see? If you reach for a mental certificate, it is not going to give you one. You see? If you reach for a certificate from the mind, yes, this could actually be it. And the mind saying, yes, yes, this is it, go for it, man. It's not going to do that. You see? So if you continue to go to the mind as an ally, then it will always give you something which is a postponing tactic. You see? Now, your deepest urge right now, because in the truth of who you are, you know what all of this is about. So if the urge right now is to continue to play some more, that is fine. It's completely fine. This whole realm is a creation for us to play. You see? But at least then we have this integrity in our life. That yes, the truth is very clear to me, the false I have seen and it does not exist. And yet there's still this sense that I want to play a bit more with this realm, enjoy this taste of Richard. And that is completely granted to you. There's nothing wrong with that. You see? But then at least we are not speaking in two tongues. We are not saying at one hand, I want to be free now, I want to be free now. And on the other hand saying, but actually it's okay, I will wait a bit. You see? Because if someone says, I'll wait a bit, I never have a problem with that. You see? So the tool to be free right now is to see, recognize who you are in this moment and to refuse to pick up the next plate which comes on the conveyor belt. It is as simple as that. You see? Now, our giving belief is only an expression of the urge to continue to play for a little longer, which is also fine. As long as this is clear to you, it's very helpful in a way. So it is clear to all of you that the urge to pick up the next plate is only an expression of the urge to continue to play in this realm personally for a little longer. Isn't it? It is a manifestation of that urge. Because we can call it the urge or we can call it the fear of this emptiness or this openness or this nothingness. It's almost like consciousness saying, okay, I've taken the trouble to create all of this, let me enjoy the taste a little bit more. We can always go back to nothingness, there's no big deal. What happened? Something is bothering you, or you seem a bit conflicted? What do you really want right now? If a genie came in front of you and said, you have one wish, with full integrity, what would you say? I'll give you a story. There was once a time where I felt like all I wanted really was freedom. So I read Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi's instructions on self-inquiry. So that day I said, today is the day. I'm going to make it happen. You see, sit in self-inquiry, do the instructions. So I sat. Very beautiful inquiry started happening. Thoughts came, and the question was, who witnesses these thoughts? All started to dissolve. Everything became very quiet and peaceful. It seemed like a long time went like that. And then the mind played a trick on me. It came and said, stop this, I'll give you a good life. Huh? And then the mind itself came and said, deal. So, with this mind trick, I fell for it because I did not have a living master at that time. It was just mind, throw it away. So I felt like I made a deal with the devil because it was going so well. Everything was becoming quiet. And just this, it made me the offer, I'll give you a good life, you stop all this. You see? And something felt attracted to this offer, of course. That is why sages sometimes can be very strong and say, are you willing to die for your freedom? And it can sound, hypothetically, it can sound very like nice and of course, yes, we are all in this, I'm willing to die for my freedom. But if somebody actually came with the axe, let's see how many would actually stay back. So what is the point of this? None of this is meant to make you feel guilty at all. So I hope none of that is happening. It is just to give some clarity about what is my urge at this moment. You see? Because what you're finding is that freedom is completely possible now. You see? So, and if the urge is just to enjoy Richard for some more time, there's nothing wrong with that. But at least we must not be in that kind of denial that, I'm still not finding my freedom. We had a very nice conversation, but I don't know whether we actually got there. That is just this made up stuff. So will you contemplate this for a day and we look again? How many are able to follow when I'm sharing with one? Because I see many times that I'm sharing with one and everyone else starts to go out. Why doesn't he just get it? Why isn't he listening to one? Are you listening? That is the point. Yeah.
Father, when you say like thoughts and all that, I can see clearly it's come and it go by its own. And like with morning, there was a discussion where been you was trying to now you saw the awareness, you're trying to become awareness, and it's like then I realized no, even this the one who's seeing thoughts coming and going, that also a mind who's trying to now okay I can live like awareness.
Slowly. So the one who is seeing thoughts is which one?
It's certainly I, but it's like
which form of I? The one that is a perceiver of thoughts.
Yeah.
Can that be perceived? And we can do it now. So allow your thought to come. See that the thought is perceived. The one that perceives the thought, how is that perceived? As what?
As if now there's no thoughts, but like there is an energetic sense of existence, it's like
a sense of existence.
Yeah.
Who perceives this sense of existence? So you said that it is not clear to you when I ask you the question, can you stop being now? Whether you are missing the point or not. Actually, it is, if you try to make a mental conclusion about it, it can seem like I might have missed it. But actually, it's very literal, you know. Just try to stop existing for one moment.
It's clear.
You see that existence is here. Now, who is aware of this sense of existence also? Is it not you?
I am, but
You are aware.
Yeah.
Now, this I that is aware even of the sense of existence, what is the color of this one? And I know you know the right answer, but look and tell me.
I can't say anything about it.
Why? Because it is not found, or because it has no attributes?
We just don't have any attribute.
Would this then mean that what you are in reality has no attributes? Or either it is that, or you are not that, you are something else and you are having an experience of this.
I cannot be other than this. It's a very primal, but
Now speak from there. If you cannot be other than that, now do you have a desire as that? Are you confused as that? Can something happen to you as that?
no.
Is there a spiritual journey for that?
No.
Can something which is just appearing can it ever become this which you already are?
No.
So the game that we are playing seems to be that we are this untouched, unlabelable awareness within which this sense of Atma, the sense of existence, takes birth. And in the light of this sense of existence, this play of worldly phenomena happens. One of the worldly phenomena that happens is the appearance of this body. Along with it is the appearance of this mind, which says, I am the body, I am this person, this is my family, this is my need for security. All these messages come. But both of these also appeared in the realm of appearances, isn't it? Along with the rest of the world. You see? So that which is untouched, unmanifest, non-phenomenal, then playing in its manifest nature of consciousness, then starts to pretend as if it is just this little bundle of flesh and blood, this bucket of bones and all the things that we have eaten. But something in all of us, whether we are in spirituality or not, knows that there is fundamentally something wrong with this. You see, that's why all that we have been providing to the body has not made us happy. Only momentary joy is experienced from this, trying to fulfill the desires of the body. Why? Because something feels like there is something more to it than this. I cannot be just this body. I cannot be just what the mind is telling me I am. What am I right now? Before my next thought, what is here already? If it is the self, then what do I need to do to get to this self? Mustn't the self be here before the doing itself? Why must it be something that I have to struggle to find? If the truth is true, why isn't it obvious? The problem is that it is too obvious. We have always been the truth. But the way we are looking for it now is as if the truth will appear in some form or some knowledge concept. You see? But the reality of who we are is here right now in our being. That's why I ask you this question, can you stop being now? Cannot stop being now. This being itself is Atma. You can go years looking for Atma Darshan, Atma Darshan. Because we don't believe that a simple question, can you stop being now, can bring you face to face with your own presence. You exist right now. Before any instruction, before any pointing, you are. And what is this being? When we really start to look, we find that everything is perceived, experienced within this being, inside me. When I'm referring to myself as being, we see that every experience, all tasting of this manifest universe only happens within this. Nothing is outside of me. That is why this being is omnipresent. It is in the light of this being. We have never experienced the world without this being, have we? Has there ever been a world without there being this? Yeah. We see that when this waking state comes, it is the light of this being that starts to shine, which gives light to this entire universe. So the existence of that which is manifest depends on the existence of this beingness. Therefore, this being, I am that I am, must be the light of this universe. So can a simple question, can you stop being now, bring us to this realization of our God presence? This presence. But then you might say, but what is the absolute truth? Because we have heard that even this God presence, you see, is a dynamic aspect, a manifest aspect of that which is non-phenomenal. That is when I asked you, who is aware even of this being, of this presence? What is the color and shape of that one that witnesses even our own presence? And for the mind, this is a supremely frustrating question, because not finding anything, you see. Not finding, cannot find a color to this one, cannot find a shape. But yet when I ask you, are you aware now? You find that you are aware. What is the color of this awareness? Where does it sit? What is the location of this awareness? That which is aware of the states, waking state, dream state, sleep state, turiya state, all these states. Is this that is aware of these states touched by the content of any of these states? You see that it is not. So can a simple question, are you aware now, bring you to the direct recognition of this self which is not manifest, and yet it is completely known right now by itself. Because even those who are completely new to satsang, if I were to ask them, are you aware now? They would say yes. But we've never looked at what this awareness is. Who taught us to be aware? Where did it come from? It is innately what we are. So it's a big paradigm shift. Presuming ourselves to be this entity which is the owner of this body, the owner of our life, the owner of our relationships, to coming to the realization that I am no thing. You see? But it is not the negative nothing which is the absence of phenomena. It is that no thing from which even God takes birth. That no thing, in which the light of the universe takes birth and goes back to rest. And it sounds something very special, but it happens every day. We go to sleep and we wake up. What goes to sleep and what wakes up? This sense of being, this consciousness, which is the light of this universe. That is why this sage Ashtavakra says that you are the one solitary witness to the entire manifest creation. He doesn't mince words. One solitary witness to the entire manifest creation. And in our inquiries now we are coming to this realization, this same realization which is available for Ashtavakra is now being made available for us. Then what is the problem? You have seen that, yes, I am aware now, and the I which is aware is this awareness itself. So I am coming to the recognition of the self as awareness itself. And I also see that the light of this presence is here. I cannot stop being. This beingness is here. And the world is only experienced within this sense of being. All this is our direct experience. Then where does confusion come from again? Because in the programming, as part of the programming of this realm, there is also this devious voice. This voice which tells you that you are a person, a separate entity, this bucket of flesh and blood. And this, yes, trick. I am having a beautiful realization. It should always be this way. Already you're gone. Anything that you pick up from this conveyor belt in this restaurant brings back the presumption of personhood. The idea that I'm a separate ego, a separate person. Even in our most helpful seeming thoughts, in our most noble sounding thoughts, in our most spiritual thoughts, they are filled to the brim with the presumption of personhood. They're filled to the brim with the presumption of the individual doer. What must I do to always keep this? Even when the retreat gets over, how do I hold on to this realization? You see? Again, doership. So quick. You see? And one of the ultimate cons is to start doubting your own realization. Even a child, when is asked, are you aware now, will say yes. When questioned, can you stop being now, a child will say no, I exist. But the mind will come and doubt even these simple answers and say, are you really seeing the truth? Are you just not imagining it? Are you not imagining awareness? But who is aware even of the imagination, you see? This is how we look. So freedom is to be found now. It is available now. In the recognition of the self, which I have pointed you towards, it is unmissable. This recognition is happening for you now. And even the dropping of the conditioning must happen now. If the conditioning is an apple, you can only eat the apple by biting on the next bite, you see. And the next bite is your belief in your next thought. Because the thought will come, it will say, but how do I lead my life now? What is going to happen to it? But life continues in its own natural way. Well, I don't know, my in-laws are here, so they might not agree that my life has continued in a natural way or not. But at least the experience from here seems like life continues to flow in its own natural way, without the sense of burden, without the sense of carrying out something specifically. And this openness is surrender, you see, because we make the prayer of surrender, but we don't really accept that even the experiencer is God Himself. And as we are open to whatever life has to bring, then we are not so concerned with what the mind is saying, what should I do next. No longer so concerned about trying to control the flow of this life with no tools. So surrender is not a doing. It is the realization that it is always this greater force which has been running our life. And I've always had this false pretense of having some individual control. And now we are coming to the recognition that there is no individual in the first place. It is one ocean, one movement of consciousness.
Father, that's like a impulse to this active, always refer this active body or active mind as I, instead of when you actually look, and it's even when look, it very passive. It doesn't manifest as a I, that oh, I am that I. Instead of this looks much more real.
Okay, let's slow down on this one. You say what is more active is this sense that I am the body and the mind. But the reality of what is doesn't seem that active. You see? But when we check, we find it is the other way around. It takes effort to actually pretend as if we are the body mind. Isn't it? Effortlessly, without even going to your next thought. What are you? Most effortlessly, what are you?
I don't.
Can you refer to yourself as the body mind without first there being a thought and belief being given in that thought? You see? Then you will find that the truth is effortless. It is the false which is so tiring and so effortful, and that brings us here. It is the suffering which is tiring, the suffering of the false, because it is effort, you see. So we have been nurturing the false with our belief, and that leads to more and more suffering. And to find a way out of this suffering, we are coming to the realization of who we are, which is the most effortless. What are you right now without any concept about yourself?
Not say anything.
Without a concept about ourselves, we see the body is also appearance. When we are not labeling that body, this chair, this carpet, we find that all of this is one big appearance. The seeming outward appearances and the seeming inward appearances of memories, imagination, thought, emotion, sensation, all is seen as just a play of appearances. Is it not? When we start labeling them, this is me, this is mine, this is other, this is theirs, then that separation comes. You see?
But that's almost automatic until unless you inquire, because I understand that's because that the habit been created, but
that's why we have satsang.
tiring for
Satsang is not tiring.
this process of inquiry all the time and like always go.
We have
back to
conditioning from maybe millions of lifetimes. You see? But the mind comes and says that a few months of satsang has become tiring. Why doesn't it just drop? Because we have fed that habit. We have watered this tree for centuries, millions of centuries maybe. So every single button will be pushed by the mind to try and get you away from this simple self-recognition. It will start with a doubt about yourself, whether you are doing things right, and start to doubt the teaching. Is this right for me? Is this teaching even work? Is it helpful? And start to doubt the teacher itself. All of these are just tricks of the mind. But in your heart, you know what the truth is. You know the truth. So I don't mind you have these phases of doubt, and these things can happen. But you have to have complete integrity, at least with yourself. It's so funny that yesterday at breakfast time, he asked me, "Sir, can you tell me the expansion of ATM?" And in the evening, somebody asked me, "Ananta, you have this ATM example. What is it?" And I realized that it is so coincidental. So ATM is my favorite opportunity with the courage to share at home so much. But fundamentally, This is the end of suffering. Suffering is not as easy as we might think it to be. To suffer takes a lot of effort. How do you get suffering? If you wanted suffering right now, what would you have to do? Go to this ATM, the anytime misery machine. Which is this ATM? Anytime misery machine is the mind. You go to this mind, anytime misery machine. But even upon going to it, you have to do some steps. No? So first you have to put the ATM card, which is the attention to mind card. So you go to the anytime misery machine and then you give attention to the mind. Okay, mind, you see, give this attention. But even upon giving attention to the mind, does it make you miserable? It doesn't, because you also have to enter your PIN, your personal identification, which means that we have to give what the mind is saying belief. That this voice of separation that is referring to me as a separate body-mind entity is saying the truth. And as we put both the attention to mind card, the ATM card, and the personal identification of belief, unlimited amount of misery and suffering is available to us. You see, this is a machine that doesn't run out. But to suffer, we have to do these steps. It is impossible to suffer right now. So that is the habit that we are breaking in satsang. The habit to go to the mind, the addiction to the mind, the one that is posing to speak the truth. That is the addiction that we are dropping. And the mind is very devious. It also comes up with spiritual truths. You see? It will come and say, but I know this. I have learned this from this guru. You see? It will come and distract us from that simple realization which is available now. You see? Then what is to be done if we want to come to the end of suffering? All seekers basically have three questions, genuine seekers. The first question is, how do I come to the end of my suffering? The answer is, don't believe your next thought. To come to the end of suffering is as simple as not believing your next thought. You see, the mind itself will come with some conclusion about this. So don't believe that. The second is, can you show me God? The answer is yes. I can show you God by asking you this question, can you stop being now? And you will find that you cannot stop being. This existence, this consciousness, this Atma, this Om, this is your God presence, which is always with you. And the final question that can be asked is, what about that, the absolute, the self, in which even the manifest form of God takes birth? Can you show me that? And I ask you, are you aware now? What is this awareness? Is it not the same awareness which is aware even of your own existence? This awareness which is untouched, unhurt by any manifest creation. To see that I am that. Not conceptually, but to see this directly in our living experience is the realization of the self. I also wanted to introduce you again to Tata, and I was just sharing with them earlier that it's very rarely that we come across someone who's had the live physical darshan of Bhagwan Shri Ramana Maharishi. So we are all blessed to be in your presence, and thank you so much. So yesterday evening we decided to play a prank on Krishna. We were coming back from a walk from Ganesh temple, and she invited me for dinner along with Tata at Tata's house. So I said to them, well, we were just getting to the house. I said, let's all go and pretend as if we're all here for dinner. And if I misheard it, and we just rung the bell and said, are we late? But I must say she handled it very well. She was very calm about it. Right? Where are all of us going to sit? But we had a beautiful dinner. Can we sing a song quickly before we go? Yeah?
You know, this may be just a knowledge question, but it's been...
A little louder, or the mic is not on?
So it's, you know, when we say, so a question obviously from here is coming that how do I know that there's nothing other than awareness? So when I'm contemplating it, it's that from the direct experience, when everything is gone away in deep sleep and only this awareness remains, there's no experience of other there.
Yes.
So therefore, it's a direct experience that there is no other.
Yes.
And this is just a mental question.
Yeah. Even if there was something, you see, to know that something, there would need to be an awareness of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this awareness is inescapable.
Yeah, but the feeling that there is, you know, that's okay that I would have to be there first as awareness to know something else, to know any other. But the thing that there can be something other, it's can just create another fear, and then you feel, oh no, I have to go to know more than this awareness.
Actually, you can say anything is prior to awareness, isn't it? You can just say there are 100 rainbows, and each of them have a pot of gold. They all exist prior to awareness. Okay. Is it verifiable? No. You see? So when we look at the truths, which is unchanging and that which is verifiable. Otherwise, we are just going into the territory of imagination, conceptualization, and it's not helpful.
Okay, so if I say that if I imagine that there is another, it has to be in my imagination, and maybe this whole creation is to experience the other. So it has to be as an imagination, and I mean, when it's a direct experience, is there is no other. And if I...
But even our imagination, we are directly aware of, isn't it?
Yes, I'm directly aware of. No, but when I believe in the imagination, then it's real for me.
Yes.
Only when I can step back and say no. Yes. I mean, when I'm in Satsang and you step back and you say, no, this is imagination and this is awareness. So what I'm saying is that I just want to be fully confirmed that there can be no other. It's not possible.
Who is this one that wants to be fully confirmed?
We know who that one is.
Are we catering to that one? This one you can always come up with things to throw in the pond. You see, there's something there, something.
Yeah, that's why I began by saying, you know, when we read in the Shastras, it just says there is no other. Like even Ashtavakra.
Ashtavakra.
This is the solitary one awareness. And then you have to verify it.
Yeah.
No, when you said don't believe anything, go and look. Is this really true?
Exactly.
Is it also just one more imagination? Because when you took this, the identity to be real,
Yes.
then the guru has to say, no, this identity is bunkers.
Yes.
Don't believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now now you look and you say, okay, now no, he's correct. But this one has to ask, oh, what if there is more than this awareness? Then I have to drop awareness also and find something.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. You see, because it will take us away from any kind of spiritual arrogance. So to know that awareness of awareness, to see that I am this awareness, is the extent of my discovery which is possible. Who is there to say what else could there be or could not be? So keep that openness, not necessary to throw it away.
What openness?
This openness that if there is something prior to awareness, then let it be that it is not known, it is not our direct experience. But who am I to make any conclusive statements about what is prior to awareness or not? All I can say is that for the existence of something, it first depends on my existence and ultimately depends on my awareness of its existence.
So that would make it the awareness unchanging.
Yes.
And that other, if it has to exist, verifiable. It must be there as and not vanish away.
Yes.
It has to be eternal. It has to
Both unchanging and verifiable.
both and self-evident
Yes.
also.
Yes.
It has to.
Self-evident would be very helpful. Yeah. Let's sing a song. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. 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 Arunachala, 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 Arunachala. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. 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 Thank you all so very much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Muji Ji ki Jai. Sadhguru Sri Ananta Ji ki Jai.